right, hopefully, let's see. Hopefully we got this working. All right. Is this working? What the hell's going on here? Stream analytics. There we go. Wonder if my chat works. Let's see. That does good. Holy shit, it works. There we go. The real estate video? Yeah, no worries. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to hop in. I need to get a second, I always say this, but I need to get a second monitor for chat. Maybe I could put it over here. All right, there we go. Concurrent. Viewers. This is weird. YouTube changed a couple things here. I just listed, I have a 4-unit listed in Somerville on Pearl Street. I just put it on the market. We just got an offer today, actually, that we're working through. Yeah, I haven't seen many vacancies myself, to be honest with you. We got a lot to go over today, guys. I'm just waiting for more people to hop in. I know I said I'd be in here at like 11. Yeah, that... Cut off with me yawning. Yes. I just got back from the gym, and I went late today because I was exhausted. Yesterday I woke up at like 3:30 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. And I slept into like maybe 6:30 today. So by the time we got my daughter ready for school, I had to go in at 9:30. But I'm beat up. I'm tired. What's this? Stream Elements bot running? What the hell is this? I don't even know what the hell some of this stuff is. But I do know I got to get another monitor. Like, that's a absolute guarantee. So let's go into here. All right. And Windows. There we go. There we go. Here we go. This is what we're dealing with today, guys. This is what we got, okay? This is it, right? This is this woman from Malden, Massachusetts, Bethany. She's in a bit of trouble. This person. Did you guys see this story? By any chance? There's so much stuff that I wanted to cover. I couldn't just film a video today. I mean, if I get into it and I want to do a little bit more of investigative research, I will on some of the stuff we're going to talk about. But there's so many things going on. It's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. So I figured, you know what? Today I'll just go live, and I know it's kind of, random, but it is what it is. So yeah, this person, look at this. Let me show you something. Here we go. I don't know if you guys could see this. Maybe I can make it bigger. No, it doesn't work. So this is what this says. I want to read this to you. Number one at the top here, it says, kill federal agents. Hopefully YouTube will not take down this video. I'm not advocating for that, obviously. It says, a Malden, Massachusetts woman has been arrested and charged for threatening to kill federal agents who were engaging in lawful immigration enforcement. Could you believe these people? I mean, they're willing to put it all on the line for this stuff. I feel like they have nothing else to do. I mean, is that the case? Do these people have absolutely nothing else to do? It says Bethany, and she's young. I mean, she's younger than me. Bethany Abigail Terrell. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm not good with names. 37 years old. She's 3 years younger than me. Charged with threatening a United States official. She'll make an initial appearance in federal court in Boston at 1:30. I don't know if that was 1:30 today or yesterday. When was this? That had to be... No, that's today. According to the charging documents, federal agents were supporting immigration enforcement and removal operations in affecting the administrative immigration arrest of individuals in the area of Malden District Court. It is alleged that the agents encountered this woman outside of Malden Court for reasons unrelated to the agent's activities. It is alleged that she physically interjected herself into the middle of agents while they were affecting an arrest. She was she was allegedly verbally abusive, attempted to physically interfere with the arrest, and ultimately made threatening statements to kill the federal officers on scene. Oh my goodness. Specifically, she approached the agents screaming. I feel so sorry for these guys. I really do. Screaming at and pushing through the agents to capture a video recording on her mobile telephone. It was further alleged that she began screaming, "ICE is here, ICE is here. You guys are monsters. This is insane. Sir, what's your name? What's your name? I can try to help you. I'm an American civilian. I have the right to be here." What else did she say? Let's see. Told her to back up several times, push past the agents, and failed to comply with any commands. She would be arrested if she failed to comply. Obviously, she got arrested. Then she yelled, how about this? This is the first time. So somebody sent this to me last night, but this is the first time I'm actually reading it. She said, "Charlie Kirk died and we love it. We are coming for you. Gonna kill you." Could you imagine? This girl's 37 years old and she is saying stuff like this. I feel like these people, I could be wrong, guys. I don't know everything. I feel like these people, they become like brainwashed. That's what I think is happening here. I really feel like they become oh, there we go. They're becoming like brainwashed, because how do you go from, I mean, you're 37 years old. It's the millennials, okay? Unfortunately, I'm part of this crowd. And these people are absolutely nuts. A lot of these people were absolutely nuts in high school. Okay? In grade school. These people were nuts since they spawned, basically. Like that's the truth. A lot of these people are wacky. They're really, really wacky. Then what else happened here? I wish I could get the BWC footage from this. I would love to see this. Let's see if we could get it. I wonder if they release this. Let me try something here. Oh, here we go. What's this?
When it's finally time
hang on.
wash, I first quickly detangle with a brush and get all those natural
This
oils
is her.
from scalp through ends. Since I haven't washed in a few weeks, I'm grabbing my Colton King scalp massager.
What?
And Colton
Haven't washed in a few... Wait a second.
through ends. Scalp massager, natural oils from scalp through ends.
Did I hear
Since
that?
I haven't washed in a few weeks, I'm
Do women not wash their hair for a few weeks? I mean, I've been with my wife for like 18 years. A few weeks seems a little outrageous to me. Is that outrageous? Is that normal? A few weeks.
grabbing my Colton King scalp massager and Colton King cream pop conditioning cleanser and giving myself an extra nice scrub and rinse.
She's going to have to go to see Hazmat for that hair, dude. No, a few weeks is crazy. Yeah, not normal. I didn't think so. That's outrageous to me. I wish I could find the videos, though. Hold on. A few weeks. No offense to any women in the chat or that watch my channel. If you do that, I don't think that's normal, guys. I mean, I don't think that's normal. Is that normal? I don't think so. But yeah, this is the woman. I can't find the BWC footage. Let's try. She's probably going to get out on like, how much, what's her bail going to be? What do you guys guess what her bail is going to be? She was released without bail? No. Oh, here we go. Woman accused of threatening ICE. This has to be it. Let me make this bigger. Malden District Court. Yeah, this is it. Physically interjected herself. Released on bail. She faces up to 10 years in prison and a $250 or $250,000 fine if convicted. We know she ain't getting convicted, guys. All right, this is let's be fair here. This is Massachusetts. This 250 is gonna lose like 4 of the zeros. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. Let's just call it what it is. A merchant of mayhem. I like that. On Thursday, prosecutors asked the judge to keep her in custody, calling her a merchant of mayhem who aimed to incite violence against the agents. They'll probably give her a job in the State House. Yeah, man. This is a prerequisite to work at the State House. 110%. Oh, this must be the video. I don't like playing videos on here when I'm live. I sometimes the videos get taken down on me, but absolutely crazy that this happened. Let's go to the Herald for a second. Oh, this one too. I want to talk about this after. I want to see if I can find out any more information on this one. Nuts, man. Malden Court was strict back in the 2000s. Nothing is strict anymore in Massachusetts. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's just a... I'm curious. These people are crazy, man. She's probably leading the No Kings protest, too. She'll be standing up there with woo. Yo, I gotta be honest with you. Actually, let's talk about that for a minute here. I'm a little bit concerned about this. The No Kings protest. All Americans need to be on high alert with National No Kings protests this weekend. Online reports suggest outside agitators are planning to escalate violence in Trump gear to frame MAGA. If you attend, do not wear MAGA gear. If you witness illegal activity, record faces and license plates and send it to the FBI. Yeah, this Mayor Wu is headlining this. She's like the opening act, I guess you could say, for the circus. So here's my prediction on this, and of course, I hope this does not happen. All right, let me just preface by saying that. Let me move this a little bit. I hope to God that the same thing that happened when they had the pro-Palestine thing last week or whatever it was, where those 4 cops got assaulted, one got their nose broken. I hope to God that doesn't happen again, because I feel like that's absolutely despicable. I really do, guys. I feel like when you're assaulting officers, and then not only that, but you're also blaming the damn officers for the escalation. I mean, it's absolute. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, okay? I'm not saying that stuff like that doesn't happen. I'll be fair. But the fact of the matter here is you had 4 officers that got assaulted. And these kids got off on, you know, I think the highest amount of money for bail was like 10 grand or something like that. They need to just lock them up, man. It's going to turn into a shit show. Yes, I think it's going to. Again, not advocating for that, just being honest. I don't think it's not going to be a good look, guys. That's what I think. That's how I feel, and that's what I think is going to happen. I really don't think it's going to be good. And with Wu, here's the problem when you do something like this. So, I mean, this is basically virtue signaling at like a monumental level. She's headlining this, and she's inserting herself into this. And what could happen here, and this could be very damning for her, but I feel like the more she gets involved with especially something like this, the No Kings rally or protest, whatever the hell it is, and then if things get violent after she's the opening act, it's not a good look. Obviously, the people in Boston don't give a shit, right? They don't care. But I just hope to God things don't escalate. And remember, what's happening here is a lot of these people are they use a whole bunch of different channels. They use Signal, maybe some sort of like private Facebook groups. Like they do everything that they can to stay under the radar in order to organize these things. And then what happens is you have people that are going to be driving in from all across the country to come here. And that's here, I'll make another prediction for you. Anybody that gets arrested is going to be labeled an outside agitator. That's what's going to happen. It can't be our people. It has to be people from Rhode Island, or it has to be people from Connecticut, or it has to be people from definitely New Hampshire. That's what's going to happen. We had outside agitators from New Hampshire that decided to cause disruption at the mostly peaceful No Kings rally inside of Boston. That's what's going to happen. I will guarantee you that. 100%. If anybody gets arrested, that's what it's going to be. Everybody is going to be from out of the area, you know? Imagine being a cop and getting your nose broken by a tough student. Yeah, really. I mean, the thing is, though, here's the problem. Stuff like that would more than likely never happen, but these cops, the litigation that happens when it comes to these police officers is they're basically disenfranchised, okay? Why do you think Boston PD is down hundreds of officers and people are working like on I think it's still mandatory overtime? Why do you think that is? The fact of the matter here is that they are the ones with their hands tied behind their back, okay? And if they do anything, they'll get sued. Okay, so now they have to go there and they have to get their freaking bones broken from some college kids because they're scared of some levels of retaliation. And you could bet your bottom dollar that if the Wu administration had to go after the cops, they would, okay? And they would sue them to holy hell. That's why that stuff happens. That's the problem, okay? I think that if people at these protests are showing any levels of violence, it should be met with equal or greater violence, okay? I'm not advocating for that, but people need to stand their ground, okay? That's what I think. These people are lunatics, man. They're absolutely nuts. They're nuts. No Kings protest. Oh, man. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Basic instinct. This is from John Gately. Let's see what this is. No Kings Boston organizer admits left-leaning protesters are inclined to be violent. Remain nonviolent. I know it might not be your instinct. Let's see what this one has to say.
I know it might not be your instinct. Find a de-escalation training. There may be counter-protesters. There may be bad actors in the crowd who are trying to rile things up. There may be ICE agents or other federal law enforcement using intimidation tactics. Remain non-violent. I know it might not be your instinct. Find a de-escalation training. There may be counter-protesters.
What does this say? On October 18th, promises to be one of the biggest days in political action in American history. We declared over 300 years ago that in Boston, that America is not beholden to any tyrant. These people are nuts, man. These people are nuts. I told you. North Attleboro. What's this? Here's the funny thing. I want to explain, what's the word I'm looking for here? I want to explain something about the contrast that happens in Boston. So we had quite a bit of Charlie Kirk vigils when Charlie Kirk passed away and or was assassinated. None of that information, at least I looked for this information, by the way. None of that information was published on the Globe, Boston.com. You couldn't find any information about where the Charlie Kirk vigils are, what time that they're at, nothing, okay? However, now, guess what's happening? We have a list here of every single No Kings protest. On top of that, you could also do a little bit, and I did this before one night when I was kind of bored. You could have looked at where the George Floyd vigils were, and I will almost guarantee you that they are square on the Boston Globe when he passed away, okay? So this is what happens with our legacy media here. They only report on what they want to report, and they only support what they want to support. You could apply that same logic to me, okay? But the fact is, they're in a position where they have, substantially more reach than I do. At least I think that they do. But somebody has to be there to counter whatever they're doing. And that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to show you guys what is happening behind the scenes on shit that they don't want to report. This is a primary example of this. You could find every single No Kings protest from here to the moon listed on this website with the times, the locations, and all this shit, okay? But when it comes to something that maybe a more centered or a little bit of center-right person may want to support, like what happened to Charlie, it's nowhere to be found. I find it absolutely despicable. I find it despicable. Let me catch up on some comments here. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. You know what I think is happening? Could we get rid of heal? Don't worry, we're working on. We got stuff cooking, guys. Don't just think I do this, all right, and sell real estate, all right. We're cooking in the back. I was gonna look something up here. Oh, Brian Foley. So I think Brian Foley. By the way, Brian Foley, if you remember, is the person that put on the. This guy, he's the guy that put on the Charlie Kirk vigil, which was a massive success. But I believe, let me see has he posted anything? Is this his main account? I heard that there was a counter protest for, I heard that there was, what's this? Oh, that's old. I heard that there was a counter, there he is there. I heard there was a counter protest for the No Kings. Hang on. Counter. We have a No Kings. Let's see. Let's try this. What's this?
Antoinette, there are more than 100 No Kings rallies planned across Massachusetts for tomorrow. The largest is expected to be here on Boston Common. Hundreds of thousands of people turned out for the No Kings rally in June. It coincided with Boston's Pride Parade. This time, organizers say they're expecting 30,000 people to attend the rally on Boston Common, but that number could grow. The No Kings movement rallies against what organizers call the authoritarian actions of the Trump administration. State police say they're aware of the protest and will be working with Boston police to ensure it remains peaceful. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu is scheduled to
Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's what's going on in regards to the woo is awful, yes. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate that, buddy. I think all the people are having a protest in the wrong country. Yeah. I think you're right about that. Anyway, guys, I wanted to cover a couple other things before I get into it. How about this? Okay, let's move on a little bit here. How about this? The MassDOT shakeup. I got to tell you something, guys. I have to tell you something. You need to pat yourselves on the backs, because if you didn't watch any of the videos that I did or Mass Fiscal did, or the information that Mass Fiscal was putting out, I don't know if we would have gotten to this point. There was so much pressure on MassDOT, on Applegreen, regarding the $1.5 billion bid for the service plazas here in Massachusetts. Now, as I posted on my YouTube channel yesterday, this person is going to be done. They're going to be out by the end of the year, and they're cooked. They're cooked. This was... Obviously, I know this. I'm in the weeds on this deal because I really followed this as closely as I could, because I knew something smelled on this deal. Again, being in the business that I'm in, you know, when I'm looking at bids, you got to know something's going on the back end. When somebody offers effectively almost double of what you offer and the other potential buyer gets the deal, I saw that and I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. But the fact is like, oh wait, what's this? Never mind. But the fact is, I don't even, you know, I think that this is only the beginning. I think that this is only the beginning. I think there probably, or more than likely, will be more people that will be in trouble in regards to this deal, because it was almost like I guess collusion or conflict of interest. Like, there was so many different elements to this that were going on that it was absolutely nuts. And then Suffolk Construction decided to interject and say, you know, what I think they said is like they shouldn't award the contract to Global. I don't even think it has to do with that anymore. It has to do with the entire premise of the like, it's gotten to the point where it's no longer about winning or not winning the bid. It's about the corruption on the back end. So I don't even think Global, in my opinion, I would just be happy Applegreen backed out of the deal, MassDOT backed out of the deal, and now they're in a position where they could rebid on the contract. I guess the silver lining, maybe not the silver lining, but playing devil's advocate here would be, well, a lot of people have already seen, a lot of people have already seen their bid, including Applegreen's bid. So they're at I think like a slight disadvantage, in my opinion. Because, and look at it this way, mainly because both of those bids were so far off. So yeah, I think that they may be at a slight disadvantage. I hope they get it, but you know, it is what it is. This is a really good comment. It's amazing how evident and clear the corruption is, but they just don't care. They just keep doing it and say nothing to see here. That's so true. I had this conversation maybe a day or two ago with somebody, and the only thing that I could say, like realistically, the only thing that I could come up with here in regards to this, there's this really weird thing going on. And I think that what's happening, like, I don't think that the politics here, like, I don't think every single human being starts corrupt. You know what I'm trying to say? And they're born corrupt. You know, they go to school, they're corrupt. They go to college, they're corrupt. They come out of college, they get a job, they're corrupt. Then they get into politics, they're corrupt. I'm sure that that's, you know, there's some truth to that some people are like that. But I think it extends beyond that. I think that what's happened here is that the environment of the legislature itself, okay, I just think that they don't care. And I think they care, but they realistically only care about what they want to care about. and whether that be some kind of ideologies or progressive policies or whatever it may be. But I really feel like it's really a strange dynamic. And I'm going to be completely honest with you here, guys. And I hope you appreciate where I'm going with this, because I've been thinking about this for a while. But here's what I've noticed, okay? I think that the legislature wants to do everything that is humanly possible to divide the left from the right, okay? Meaning the Democrats from the Republicans. They don't want the Democrats and Republicans talking. They don't want the Democrats and Republicans getting behind more bipartisan bills and getting support from both sides. So I think what happens is they've created this atmosphere where I don't even think they want you talking to the other side, okay? It's like cops and robbers, right? Like that's what this is, where, you know, it's completely taboo to have open dialogue and honest conversations with the other side. And I've been trying to advocate for this, like more people, like, believe me when I tell, obviously I'm friends with people on the left too, right? I mean, I'm friends with Diana. I think the state auditor is fantastic. You know, there's other people as well, right? But you got to realize, if you were to put this in a graph, like, I don't feel like drawing right now, right? But like, if I were to like guesstimate, I would say like 75% of the left side of the legislature is extremely far left. And I think that maybe 25%, maybe I'm trying to be fair here, you know, maybe 25% is a little bit more moderate. They don't want that 25% talking to everybody on the right. They are in a position to systematically keep people from talking from each other. And that's why nothing gets done. Nothing gets done, okay, of any importance. So when you're looking at these bills, you're looking at these things and you're thinking to yourself, geez, this makes a lot of sense. Or geez, this looks like absolute garbage. Now you know, okay? Now you know why this is going on. Because there's a massive divide between the left and the right. And I also think that there is a divide between the people on the right and the people on the left. So as I said, let's say 75% of the Democrats in the legislature are lunatics, okay? Extreme far left, like basically flat earthers, okay? We'll just put it simply like that. They think the frickin' earth is flat and the moon is made of cheese, all right? That's what I think. Then you have maybe 25%. And again, I'm just using rough examples here. Maybe you have 25% that is realistic. Okay, that's a little bit more moderate, let's say, maybe a little bit more conservative. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum, and by the way, that 25%, I forgot to say this, that 25% and that 75% probably do not get along that well. Okay, I'm willing to bet they probably do not get along that well. And then on the right side, now, I don't know exactly how it's going on the right, but I think that there may be, and I'm not trying to make stuff up here, okay? But this is from what I've seen. This is my personal opinion, okay? This isn't law. But I think that there is and or was some of the divide in the Republican Party as well. And in my opinion, if the Republican Party wants to get their shit together, they need to get together first, okay? They need to be one unified party in order to unify the state. That's what needs to happen. But more importantly, maybe not more importantly, but just as important, is that the right side and the 25% of the left side need to get together on certain issues. That's what needs to happen, guys. And that is the biggest threat to the people that are stuck in the swamp of the legislature. That's what I think. I think they don't want people talking. That's what I think. I think they do not want people talking. 110%. Because what happens is, if you take 75% of the people on the right, okay? Let's say 75% of the people on the right are normal conservative, and then, you have this fringe 20, and again, I'm making up numbers here, guys. Then you have this fringe 25%, that's a little bit too far right? And then on the left, You have 75% that is absolute lunatics, you know, flat earthers, the moon's made of cheese. And then you have the 25% that is rational. Well, what they don't want to see happen here, they don't want to see the 75% from the right get together with the 25% from the left, okay? Because then they will be in a position where there's more people that support the ideas that they have than themselves. I think that's what's happening to some extent. I could be wrong on this, but I'm not entirely wrong. There's something happening in that legislature, and it is vile. Okay, there's a deep rot that's happening in the legislature, and it's a damn shame, man. Xenia, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. Let me catch up here on comments. Did you say anything? Hang on. See, I don't have like the super chats. Hang on. Oh, here we go. $5 Captain Skid Marks. Let's see. Thank you. This lady wanted to charge drivers on the Pike differently based on what kind of car a person drove. Yeah, this person's a lunatic. Let me actually play you this. Hold on. 1 second. I'll tell you what, man. Mass Fiscal, they have been hammering on these issues. Okay? Oh, we'll get to that one too. Where's the one with this lunatic? Oh, here we go.
That is, I will not spend one day trying to keep my job. I just won't.
On Thursday, the Healey administration announced its parting ways with Transportation Secretary Monica Tibbetts-Nutt, who since day one on the job showed an intense disdain for the Massachusetts taxpayers.
Going after everybody who has money. I will 100% use that as a weapon.
Could you imagine saying that? Who?
Going after everybody who has money. I will 100% use that as a weapon.
Could you imagine? Think that this was... Look, I'm 40 years old. Could you imagine 20 years ago or 25 years ago somebody coming out and saying that? They would get ridiculed to no end.
Let's take a look back as we say goodbye.
I'm going to talk about tolling. I'm going to talk about charging TNCs more. I'm going to talk about potentially charging more for package deliveries. And when I'm talking tolling, I'm talking at the borders.
Excuse me, Ms. Secretary, can you comment on the global lawsuit that was filed on Friday? Why hasn't Mass DOT been handing over public records? Is there corruption at Mass DOT?
We're making sure that we're getting all the documents to them, and we feel very confident in our process.
Can you explain how leaving hundreds of millions of dollars on the table is a good deal for the taxpayers? Governor, do you support Monica Tibbetts-Nutt staying on as secretary?
3 weeks later, we got our answer.
She's made a decision to join private industry in the private sector.
This is a victory for accountability, transparency, and every Massachusetts resident who demanded better.
100%. That was a huge victory, guys. Big victory. You got to pat yourselves on the back, okay? Got to pat yourselves on the back for that one. That was a big deal. But look at this one. Okay, is it this one up here? Oh, this, I'm probably going to do a full-fledged video on this because I have to, and I have a lot to say, but let's just watch the clip.
I've been about bringing more gas supply into Massachusetts. You know, I never stopped pipelines.
How is this possible?
Remember, I stopped 2 gas pipelines from coming into this state.
In terms of gas, you know, I think I've been pretty clear and consistent about this. I have advocated for the expansion.
And also to oppose new gas infrastructure in this state. We absolutely need to do that.
Is there something in the water here? Like, I mean, what is happening? That video is going viral on Facebook? Really? That's good. Is it really going viral on Facebook? I'd have to look that up. By the way, guys, I have a Facebook account, but I barely use Facebook. So if any of you like reach out to me on there, I'm barely on it. I mean, How could you with a straight face say this?
I've been about bringing more gas supply into Massachusetts.
How could you say this with a straight face?
You know, I never stopped pipelines.
Remember, I stopped 2 gas pipelines from coming into this state.
In terms of gas, you know, I think I've been pretty clear and consistent.
Let's see what the comments say. I guess I said the same. I think I said the same thing. I guess nobody told Mar the internet is forever. Oh, she's rough. Oh, here we go. What's this?
I've been clear. We need all forms of energy right now into the state to lower costs, to bring more supply in, and I've been supportive of gas.
Yeah. Yeah, look at this. $12.73 supply, $68.65 in delivery. And then she gets on, where's the one she was talking about, DPU? She's the head of she's it's always about passing the blame onto somebody else, because these people refuse to take accountability for themselves. And what's going to happen here, by the way, what's going to happen here for these people that don't want to be, when you run your campaign on accountability, transparency, sticking up for the taxpayers, you know, all of these things, and then get into office and do the exact opposite, what are you doing? I mean, really, what are you doing? I think that she is going to have a very hard time, very, very hard time getting and staying in office. I really do. I really and truly do. I think that she is going to be in a position where there is so much threat to her position. I think she's going to lose it. I really do. And just look at the clips. Just look at the damn clips. Like, this has gone beyond the point of good ideas versus bad ideas, meaning all of her ideas are bad. All of this candidate's ideas are good. It doesn't even have to do with that anymore. It's the fact that she says one thing and then does another. Or it's the fact that she puts herself in a position where she's, I don't know if the word is grandstanding, but like, I think that with clip when she was stopping the gas pipelines was when she was AG, okay? And I think that she used that. Like, here's what's happening. She used that moment as almost like a publicity stunt, in my opinion. She used that moment to reel in the climate warriors so that they could get behind her and put her in the position that she's in today. Now what's happening is the same people that were the climate warriors that wanted this Green New Deal, they wanted this renewable energy, and they wanted all of these things. Well, now that it's come to their doorsteps and now that it's come to their pocketbooks, I think that even they are upset about what is going on, because there's only, I mean, look at it this way, guys. You need to remember, they, meaning the climate warriors, could be in a position to eat these costs, but maybe their kids aren't. Maybe their grandchildren aren't. Maybe their other family members aren't. So now, when they go to, you know, Thanksgiving dinner, which we have coming up in what, like a month or so, you know, they're going to be outnumbered by people that are upset with their utility bills, and they're going to be sitting there like an asshole. Okay? And that's what's happening. So I think Healy is even losing those people as well. That's why she did a complete 180. She flip-flopped from stopping 2 gas pipelines into the position that she's taking as of today, where, oh, we need a whole bunch of different resources in order to have affordable energy here. We need coal. We need natural gas. We need nuclear. We need a hamster on a wheel. We need whatever we can to lower the cost to the Massachusetts residents. And the reason that she's flipping the script on that is because people are upset. They are upset about this. Now, I don't know, and maybe you guys can answer this question for me. Would it be better if she just came out and said that she made a mistake? Do you think that if she was more honest and transparent, like I make mistakes, I'm okay making mistakes, and I'm okay admitting to my mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Don't get me wrong, right? Everybody, we all make mistakes. But I think it's a bigger mistake to not own up to your mistake. That's my opinion. Like if she came out and said, look, you know, back when I was AG, I was under the impression based on data that this is what it was, and over a period of time, you know, we were going to save money even prior to the like 2050 net zero agenda. Like if she came up, like even me, like if I made a mistake on some levels of data and then new data came through, I would just say, look, guys, you know, I base my opinion on previous studies. This is now my opinion today. I think it would do her a whole lot of justice to come out and say, look, I made a mistake, guys, and I fucked everybody. Right? I'm sorry to curse, but really, that's what's happening here. Or, you know, to be realistic, like, hey, guys, I did stop those 2 gas pipelines. Obviously, we cannot keep going down this path, right? She could give a political speech. We can't keep going down this path. I made a mistake, and we're going to change course, but I need everybody's support to do this, okay? Like, I'm going to like upend DPU. We're going to do this. We're going to reopen this. We're going to whatever it may be. Like, I feel like that would be a much better look than coming out and saying that you never stopped gas pipelines or you never wanted more different energy sources to come to the state. But meanwhile, that's exactly what you did. And that's exactly what you said. You see what I'm saying? So leading into what I just told you, this is why the candidate, listen, if Healy, I hate to say this, guys, but if Healy doesn't get out of office, okay, I think anybody could beat Healy today. I do. I really and truly do. She's done irreparable damage to herself, to the Democratic Party in this state, and to the taxpayers, to the citizens of this state. She has done irreparable damage, okay? She has. Maybe she did a couple good things here or there, but the problem is the bad is outweighing the good. And when the bad outweighs the good, if one of the candidates, one of the Republican candidates, whether it be Keneally, Shortsleeve, or Minogue, whether one of those candidates, I think this is the time for them to win, okay? Because they're not coming from a position of just ideologies or policy or whatever it may be, okay? That's a portion of what it has to do with, okay? We care about those things. But the other portion of this is, and none of these candidates are perfect either, right? Like nobody is 100% perfect. Again, I'm not perfect. But the reality here is Healy is far from perfect. And not only is she far from perfect, but she's not willing to admit to her mistakes. And I think that is going to do irreparable damage to herself. That's what I think is going to happen. That is what I truly and honestly feel like is going to happen. So with that being said, if we don't get a Republican candidate in, or a different candidate in general, I don't know, man. This state is... something's cooking in the back end, okay? Something's going on. Because how could you disenfranchise every single taxpayer every single second of the day, spend billions upon billions of dollars on the migrant crisis, give all of your friends and political donors no bid contracts, have... you're in bed with the utility companies effectively. You control DPU and you won't do anything to help people. I mean, I was looking at my energy usage. My energy usage, our energy usage last year, I think I paid upwards of like maybe $2,500 between like gas, electricity. This year, it went up by a third. It was up by a third, okay? Actually, no, I'm sorry. 2023 to 2024, I should say. It was up by a third. That's what it was. It went up by a third. So now it's going to increase another 18%? Are you freaking kidding me? Like, people can't afford this. They can't afford this. And the thing is, it's not even about affording or not affording at this point. It's about what's right and what's wrong. Okay? You're trying to save the planet we produce 0.18% of all carbon emissions in the country. Okay? It's not even 1 point. So what are you going to do? Spend $700 billion to get it down another a tenth of a point? Like, well, it's stupid. It's a mess, guys. So with that being said, what I wanted to say, if a Republican, and maybe I said this already, I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but if a Republican candidate doesn't get in, man, we're in trouble. Or any candidate that could, upset Healy's seat. Because if they don't get in now, we're in trouble. Because she's just, it's bad, man. It's really bad. Steve, thanks for the $2, man. You guys don't have to donate. It's fine. Went on vacation. Alan Fisma. Alan, I'll just call you Alan, okay? Went on a vacation 9 years ago. Card on file expired. Uber tolls $2 each. Went unpaid and penalties reached $18,000. License suspended. $400 of tolls became $18,000. No help, no relief from MassDOT. That is insane. I'm going to screenshot this. Dude, did you contact an attorney or something? That is crazy. You know what the other part of the problem here with the way people vote? I feel like the other part of the problem, at least this has been happening for a while. Every single thing that you do, think about. I want to take you, pull you a step back for a second here, right? Obviously, I was born in 1985, right? So I grew up during the time of hard work, right? My dad worked his ass off. My mom did too when she could. And we also grew up in a time where we had computers and we were getting the internet and all this stuff, right? And there's a whole entire other generation of people that are out there that are significantly older than us that I think are still voting. And I think that they're getting all of their information from either physical paper or they're watching their television all day long. Could you imagine how warped your brain must be if you are sitting down every morning, you're reading the Globe, then you're going and you're sitting on your chair, retired, and you're putting on CNN or you're putting on, ABC, you're watching The View all day long, then you get done watching The View, you put your local news on, the local news comes on, and could you imagine what the brain of somebody like that must be like? Really, think about it. I think that they are so absolutely warped. I think that they're scared. Honestly, I think that they are scared. I think that what they see happening, whether it be from the Globe or the papers or from The View or from CNN or from MSNBC or whatever the hell it is, whatever ridiculous. And then they watch, after all is said and done, then they're probably watching like General Hospital and the soap operas, right? So they go from... they go from reading the Globe to watching The View to watching soap operas. Then once that's over, they go and make dinner, do whatever they do, take a shower, and then they're watching Jimmy Kimmel at night. This is their day. This is their lives, okay? That's it. It's like the Globe, The View, CNN, MSNBC, soap operas, and then they're watching Kimmel at night. These people are so far gone that they're at the point of no return. There's like absolutely no coming back. They're like stuck in the pods in the Matrix, right? Like they're like stuck in those pods. That's what it is. Like they're completely gone. Their minds are completely gone. So could you imagine those are people those are people you are never going to be able to convert from point A to point B. And the reason that you're not going to be able to do that is because they're brainwashed. Their minds are like mush, effectively. Their minds are like mush. And you want to know how I know some of this stuff? Okay? The reason that I know some of this stuff is because, well, my grandmother, God rest her soul, I think she passed away about 2 years ago. This woman was 100 years old, okay? She lived till 100. She drove till she was like 97 or whatever. And sometimes when I would see her, she would talk to me about things, but like, even when she was, you know, a little bit younger than that too, you know, she would talk to me about things or my dad for that matter. And my dad would tell me these stories. And these are the type of people, and I mean, no offense to my grandmother, okay? But like, these are the type of people why do you think that there's mailing campaigns out there, not for politicians, but for people to collect donations? You know what they do? They use any kind of predictive analytics to mail people that have a certain amount of equity in their house, have a certain amount of money in their bank, made a certain amount of money while they were working, and are currently at a certain age group, and they will mail them things based on that data to try to get them to donate to some kind of bullshit, okay? That's what they do. Do you really think that The View, CNN, and MSNBC, they know how old their viewer base is? I know how old my viewer base is. You don't think they know? So what they do is they, these big corporations and stuff, they like quantify all this stuff down and then spoon feed some mis or disinformation to these people where their brain is just completely warped and they're in a position where they're scared for their freaking lives. Like when you're out there calling somebody a Nazi, a fascist, all these things, you got to remember, guys, some of these people grew up through this shit, okay? They grew up through this stuff, right? And they think it's true. These people think it's true. Like they don't take what somebody says with a grain of salt. They're taking it for what it's reality. So those type of people, those type of voters in Massachusetts, they're at the point of no return. Okay, you're never going to capture that vote. Don't try to capture that vote. Who the politicians should be aiming for is more independent voters. Okay, or more Democratic voters that are just completely done with their party because they see what the hell is going on. All right, that's what I think. Alan, did you donate another $10 or did I read this already? Bro, you got to take it easy. Alan, I called the ACLU. Listen, I have a lot to say about the ACLU. I called the ACLU attorneys, everything. They said, good luck. Took me 6 months to pay. I went to a service center and an older man was crying. He owed $80,000. He was pleading, crying, extortion at its best. I'm screen capturing this. Send me an email. Let me see if I can help you. Okay? Let me see if I can help you. Please, you spent enough money, bro. Please don't donate anymore. I wish... I can't even refund the money. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do. Okay, hang on a second. Let me catch up on... Mike, we need to have a long live the king... a long live the king protest. Yeah. Yeah, no offense to any... guys, by the way, no offense to any boomers out there. I'm just saying people that are really, 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 really up in age, I feel like they do get taken advantage of a lot. Okay? Some people more than others. Actually, I have a perfect example for you guys. You want to hear something? I want to tell you guys something. Here's another example. This is a in-the-house example with me. Here's a good example. My wife hates computers, doesn't really like the internet. I mean, she uses her phone for stuff, okay? I mean, she knows how to type on a keyboard and all this stuff, but she is not tech savvy at all. My wife is about, let me think, 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years younger than me. She's in her 38 years old, right? All right. So sometimes when my wife gets an email and it comes from like, what's the one? Norton Antivirus. And it says that you owe $350 to renew your subscription to Norton Antivirus. She thinks that that's real. We don't use Norton Antivirus. She doesn't have a computer with Norton Antivirus. But what I'm trying to say here, the point that I'm trying to make is my wife is 38 years old, educated, but just doesn't she doesn't know like internet culture, or really doesn't know a lot about computers or scams and all that stuff, right? So when she gets an email, she actually, I'd have to look. There was another one the other day too, but yeah, she thinks it like, oh, we have to pay this, or like, what is this, right? Like she inherently thinks it's a scam, but she's not sure. You know what I'm saying? So imagine somebody that didn't grow up with the internet, didn't have any levels of internet culture, and is like in their late 70s or early 80s. And no offense, guys, if you were that age, if you're watching this channel, you're way ahead of the curve. Okay, you're way ahead of the curve. So imagine these people getting all this information from The View, CNN, Jimmy Kimmel, whatever it may be. They're gone, man. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say here. They're gone. Just brains are cooked. Standing Stone, thanks for the $5, man. Thanks, Mike. I just went to get an inspection sticker on the car. The guy told me I need new plates. The plates were faded? Really? I don't know. That one I don't know. I'm not the best with cars, guys. I'm good with computers. Cars, besides like brakes, rotors, oil, cleaning a car. I mean, I could figure things out, right? But I don't have time to do that. So let me catch up. Oh, let me do this. I want to watch this with you guys. Have you guys watched this yet? I watched the first minute and 19 seconds, I think. I have permission from just a prerequisite here. I did get permission from Forgotten History to watch this. You guys want to watch this with me for the next 16 minutes? I'll probably cut it out a little bit. We could talk. I'll do some commentary on it. Let's do it. Just use Linux. Yo, I was about to move over to Linux, but I think I could dual boot to Linux and try it out and see if it works. But I have my capture card here for OBS. Like, I have so much stuff going on between the microphone, I have hardware peripherals that I would be concerned with if they worked or didn't work. So it would require me quite a bit of extensive research to even do that for Linux. But I've been checking out Linux because I'm really sick of Windows, man. I really am.
In our long-running series, Most Corrupt, we give the information, pro and con, and allow the viewers to decide for themselves. However, some cases are irrefutable, and in many cases, just egregious. We have long expected our politicians to operate at a higher moral and ethical level, as they represent us, the people. But this facade has faded away, and for good reason. Our subject now is a stellar...
There she is. There she is. This is our... We have a No Kings protest, but this is one of our many queens, okay? This is one of our queens here.
Example of corruption and graft, and it is not even a close call. Who is Elizabeth Warren? What have been her long-running conflicts with ethics? Did she break the law? How does she wear hypocrisy so comfortably?
Hello, I'm Colin Heaton, former history professor, Army and Marine Corps veteran, and welcome to this episode of Forgotten History.
I really like this video so far. See, guys, I don't have the time level, or I could learn how to do edits like this, but I just like talking. That way I'm able to put out more content, you know? I had literally about 50 of you guys send me this, and I reached out to them to make sure I could watch it.
Elizabeth Ann Warren was born on June 22nd, 1949 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Warren is a graduate of the University of Houston and Rutgers Law School at Rutgers University, Newark, and has taught law at several universities, including the University of Houston, the University of Texas at Austin, the University of Pennsylvania, and Harvard University. In each of these applications for education and employment, Warren claimed Native American status.
Yo, she will never, ever. Listen, is Trump the one that gave her the name Pocahontas? Was he the one? Was he the one that gave her that name? She is never going to be able to. That's absolutely ridiculous. She's never going to be. This is never going to leave her. Okay, ever.
Which would.
You know who he called? I was watching something the other day. I'm sorry to pause this, guys. But by the way, if I don't pause this, YouTube will flag my video. So if I don't do commentary, I can't just watch. This is a public service announcement, okay? If I ever record a video and I have to pause it and give commentary, I have to do that, okay? Because if I just watch something all the way through and then give my opinion at the end of the video, I'll get flagged. Okay, so I need to do this, but Trump had another good one the other day. I got to give it to him. I think it was during it was during the ceasefire speech, I think, and he called George Stephanopoulos. I think he called him George Slopalopagus or something like that. And I was cracking up.
Access to those programs and opportunities under affirmative action. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Warren did tick American Indian on Texas bar registration forms, and Harvard Law School listed her as a minority in their affirmative action documents. Using this falsified data, Warren jumped over equally or even more qualified applicants.
Howie Carr, I see you guys saying, yeah, I've obviously been at the studio twice already. I really like Howie. He's a nice guy. He seemed to be a nice guy.
Which is a federal crime, as outlined in the Higher Education Act of 1965. She never submitted documentation supporting her claim of being Cherokee, which would have been required. This act specifies severe penalties for financial aid fraud, including fines up to $20,000 and imprisonment for up to 5 years. Providing false information on the FAFSA is also considered making a false statement to a federal agency. If the FAFSA was submitted via postal mail or computer networks, applicants may face additional charges for mail fraud or wire fraud, which are felonies that can result in fines and up to 20 years in prison. Financial aid fraud involving identity theft can lead to further fines and imprisonment. In 2012, the Boston Globe, a staunch supporter of Warren, examined an 1894 marriage license application listing Warren's great-great-great-grandmother, O.C. Sarah Smith, as Cherokee. However, this attempt at giving Warren cover failed, and the Boston Globe later issued a correction. The claim came from a family newsletter alluding to such an application. Neither the Globe nor the Genealogical Society had ever examined the primary record. Bottom line, there was no verified original document.
There you go.
The New England Historic Genealogical Society later clarified that it had no proof to support or disprove Warren's claims of Native ancestry.
Of course they did.
Donald Trump seized on the controversy, branding her Pocahontas and publicly challenging her story, arguing.
You got to give it to him. You got to give it to him.
That she used the claim to gain opportunities that should have gone to others. At a Montana rally in July 2018, Trump escalated the challenge, saying that if Warren agreed to a debate and took a DNA test that showed you're an Indian, he would donate $1 million to a charity of her choice.
I will give you $1 million to your favorite charity, paid for by Trump, if you take the test and it shows you're an Indian.
Facing mounting pressure, Warren agreed to take the DNA test, hoping to validate her claims. The results showed she had a distant Native ancestor, estimated to be 6 to 10 generations back, according to geneticist Carlos D. Bustamante. However, this level of ancestry did not meet the requirements for tribal membership. That amplifies something like 1/64th to 1/1024th of her ancestry, depending upon where the ancestor falls. But that ancestor is either Mexican, Peruvian, or Colombian.
You can't make this stuff up, guys. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It cannot identify a native tribe and can't replace records. The Cherokee Nation criticized her for using DNA as proof of tribal identity, stating that tribal membership is not determined by DNA, and in fact the DNA didn't prove anything at all.
It's irrelevant to what it means to be a Native American in this country. That's based on a legal definition. Certainly every tribe has that in common, that we have some legal basis for our citizenship that we determine consistent with federal treaties.
Over 200 Native American leaders later asked Warren to fully retract her claims of Native American status. She eventually apologized for contributing to misunderstandings around her identity, tribal sovereignty, and representation, citing the confusion and misuse it caused regarding tribal sovereignty.
This person said, how do we have a lady like this as a governor? That is a great question. And I'll tell you what. Yeah, Senator. That is a great question, because it's amazing how all of these people could get away with all of this nonsense and nobody gets arrested. Nobody gets arrested. That's actually one of the things that I'm most upset about as of right now with the Trump administration. There's all these people out there that are doing all this vile and heinous things, and nobody's getting arrested. Like, nobody is getting arrested. Where the hell are the arrests? Like, there needs to be more arrests, in my opinion. If these people are that corrupt, then the system is even worse. You see what I'm saying? Like, if these people are that corrupt, but there's no arrests, then there has to be a problem with the process. So if there is a problem with the process, fix it. Figure out a way to fix it.
She got caught. The Cherokee Nation in Oklahoma, the United Kiowa Band in Oklahoma, and the Eastern Band of the Cherokee Indians in North Carolina all made it quite clear. You need a direct ancestor on the 1924 Baker Roll or the 1949 UKB Base Roll or Dawes Roll from 1898 to 1906 and 1914. One must also have greater than 1/16th Eastern Cherokee, and DNA is not an enrollment proof. Warren did not qualify on any scale. You must descend from someone on the roll. DNA is not accepted for calculation. According to the documentation from the Dawes plus quantum requirement or UKB materials, it describes that one must be at least 1/4 Kiowa Cherokee. As a result, all early press items relying on a second-hand reference were later corrected. The Cherokee Nation and other Native voices said using DNA to assert identity was inappropriate and wrong because tribes, not tests.
I'm sure that the people, like, could, you know, when you think about this, think about the people that are part of these tribes that she claims to be from. Like, it is so disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is so disrespectful.
Determined citizenship. Warren later apologized privately to the nation
being a
in
Cherokee.
February 2019 and publicly at a Native forum in August of 2019.
Yeah, it's almost racist,
but
right?
Warren's corruption goes even further. Trump turned the Oval Office upside down by criticizing Warren's creation of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Oh, I got a lot to say
or
about that,
CFPB,
guys.
which he described as a tool she used to destroy successful people, including entrepreneurs like Elon Musk. Warren is an open anti-capitalist, but she does not mind living on insider trading, dark money, and taxpayer dollars.
Yes, of course.
Warren's hypocrisy was...
The CFPB, guys, that... First, let me preface, I'm not going to give you a spiel on the entire CFPB, okay? I can't remember everything. The only thing I will tell you is that anything that you do, any organization that you create, any nonprofit that you open, there's always opportunities there to become corrupt. I think that perhaps it may, we'll give benefit of the doubt here. We'll be a little bit fair, okay? She just got ran through the coals with the Cherokee thing. Let's be a little fair. So, like, maybe it started with good intentions, okay? But what ended up happening is those intentions that used to be good, they were lost a very long time ago. Because what the CFPB effectively ended up doing was it created less competition within the banking space. So yes, it may have saved some people some money. Maybe people did recover some money from this program that they created. But what it also did is it delegitimized. I don't know if you've ever heard of debanking, but what it ended up doing was it delegitimized certain financial institutions so they couldn't compete within the marketplace, whether or not they were operating, on complete honesty or not. So less people could enter. There was more people that couldn't enter into the space to compete. And without that level of competition, everything becomes more expensive for everybody else. Okay? That's what this effectively did.
Exposed during the Senate confirmation hearing of
Yes,
Robert
it was
Kennedy Jr. His vocal opposition to pharmaceutical
Later,
companies
Standing Stones.
promoting
I'm
an
going to be
array of
hopping off in a little while,
vaccines
too.
and other products to the American public, as well as enforcing federal compliance and
my bad.
mandates, drew the ire of several Democrats, including Warren. That was because Warren and other Democrats in opposition in both houses, using their voting power to create mandatory vaccinations, did so while they raked in the profits from both their investments in those companies as well as generous campaign contributions from lobbyists. Warren herself voiced apprehensions that Kennedy's endeavors might drive vaccine manufacturers into bankruptcy. If that happened, that would derail her donor base for sure.
Yeah, like the CEO of Blue Hub that was basically screwing people out of their foreclosures, buying up their mortgages, and then basically robbing them in broad daylight. That was one of her political donors.
We have the opportunity to bankrupt the vaccine manufacturers.
Warren had an outburst during the hearing when Kennedy revealed her attempt to persuade him not to pursue legal action against pharmaceutical companies after departing from the Department of Health and Human Services. Although Warren publicly denied the accusation, a clip later surfaced, shared by the Daily Caller News Foundation on X, in which she acknowledged it. Warren stated,
Said in the website, I don't take contributions from big pharma executives. I don't take any corporate PAC money.
She lied. However, the community notes feature on X remains undefeated. As a rebuttal to her claim, it was appended to the video. The community note linked to Open Secrets revealed that Warren has indeed received big pharma money over the years.
Look at that. $818,000 from pharmaceutical companies. The way he said she lied, I gotta listen to that one more time, guys. I'm sorry.
However, the community notes feature on X remains undefeated. As a rebuttal to her
where was it?
accusation on X, in which she acknowledged it. Warren stated,
Said in the website,
what did she say?
I don't take contributions from big pharma executives. I don't take any corporate PAC money.
She lied. However, the community notes feature on X remains undefeated. As a rebuttal to her claim, it was appended to the video. The community note linked to Open Secrets revealed that Warren has indeed received big pharma money over the...
Yo, Milkman, let me tell you something right now. He said, I hate this state. Listen, we're the underdogs right now. We're the underdogs right now. But guess what? It gives us an opportunity to build on some levels of momentum. Okay, I'm still laughing about that she lied thing. I can't get it out of my head. I'm going to be thinking about that all day. Listen, we all hate it here, okay? But we're here, okay? So guess what? The only thing we could do is stick together to try to make it better, okay? And believe me when I tell you, it's going to take time in order to do that. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a year. It's not going to happen in 2 years. It's going to take time. But it also provides us with an opportunity to do something about it, okay? I mean, would it be substantially easier to go to another state that has the same ideologies, you know, values, family values, all of these things? Maybe it would be, and maybe life would be a little bit better. But there's something when you want to build on some levels of momentum to get to where you want to be, whether it be personally or whether it be the environment that you live in. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is there's value and there's opportunity in the fight to make something better. You see what I'm saying? There's value in that. So to everybody that, feels we all feel disenfranchised, okay? I mean, we all do. But there's an opportunity here to stick together, to build something bigger, and to take the state where we want it to go. You see what I'm saying? And yes, it may not take a month or a year or 2 years or 5 years, but we have to stay the course. And the more people that we have trying to do, I encourage anybody to do what I'm just speaking your mind, right? I encourage anybody to do that. Don't be scared to do that. That's what they want you to be. Just as much division as I said earlier about, the left versus the right here. They don't want them talking. You could apply that same level of logic to us. They don't want us talking, okay?
The years. According to Open Secrets, between 2019 and 2020, Warren accepted $822,573 from employees or PACs affiliated
must be nice.
with pharmaceutical and health product companies, albeit not from the companies themselves. That's how they filter the donations. But since 2020, Warren took $5.2 million.
$5.2 million. If somebody donated $5.2 million, I could do this every single day for the rest of my life. But this woman, all she does is go on her frickin' iPhone and screech from her pre-crafted scripts from her colleagues or whoever the hell is writing it. And all she does is talk nonsense, man. It's a damn shame.
Using backdoor donors and her political action committee to escape and evade any semblance of a direct contribution, which would have been illegal.
Here I am trying to buy a new camera. And she's getting $5.2 million for nothing.
This is called dark money. Warren doubled down on her claims that she doesn't take contributions from Big Pharma executives. Warren made these claims again after leaving RFK Jr.'s United States Senate Finance Committee vote. So why did Warren and other Democrats attack RFK Jr. when he wanted to clean up the pharmaceutical industry? Well, it's simple. They were on the take, and they had to protect their biggest donors. Federal Election Commission records show clearly that Warren also accepted donations from the Sackler family, who have been sued for their major role in the opioid crisis. Sadly, Senate Democrats have resorted to
Was that Sackler? Was that the people that the Oxycontin people?
Distorting the truth in an attempt to obstruct President Trump's nominees, especially.
I have to look that up really quickly, guys. Yes. Holy shit. I did not know that. So she took money? Wait.
Also accepted donations from the Sackler family, who have been sued for their major.
These people have killed and ruined so many lives. So many.
Role in the opioid crisis. Sadly, Senate Democrats have resorted to distorting the truth in an attempt to obstruct President Trump's nominees, especially Robert Kennedy Jr. During that particular hearing, it got very interesting.
Sick, man.
When Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders had a notable exchange with Kennedy during the second day of his confirmation hearing, where Kennedy revealed that Sanders, who, like Warren, had himself accepted Big Pharma money, over $1.4 million. Trump's administration, with Elon Musk's Department of Governmental Efficiency, DOGE, moved to shut down the CFPB, a decision that enraged Warren, who claimed it would allow big corporations to harm everyday Americans. Well, where was she during the COVID-19 mandate crisis? But what it did do was stop the funneling of dark money into Democrat coffers from that sector. The Hill reported, quote, Warren has condemned many efforts directed by President Trump, including attempts to shut down the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, an agency she helped create. The Massachusetts senator said she is depending on judges to prevent the proposed cuts and enforce the rule of law during a time when the boundaries
So were they like funneling money through this or something like that?
of executive power are being tested. Trump said regarding the CFPB,
You know, that was set up to destroy people. She used that as her little personal agency to go around and destroy people.
That's what I thought.
And she's a fake. Just like she said she was an Indian, and she wasn't an Indian. You have more Indian blood in you than she has. She went to college based on the fact that she was an Indian. She got jobs based on the fact that she was an Indian. She's a fake.
in the third quarter of 2019, during the 2020 presidential elections, Warren's campaign raised $24.6 million from all sources, many of whom were lobbyists, just less than the $25.3 million Sanders' campaign raised, and well ahead of Joe Biden, the frontrunner in the polls, who only raised $15.2 million. As of 2019, Forbes estimated Warren's net worth at $12 million. Much of that wealth did not come from a typical civil servant's salary.
No
though
way.
She has plenty of company among her career politician friends who entered office with modest means and left wealthy. On another note,
Warren voted guilty in the Senate during the second impeachment of Donald Trump, claiming he was responsible for the January 6, 2021 disturbance. Warren can...
What's your opinion on this? I've heard so much stuff about this. What's your opinion on this?
Conveniently forgot to mention that her Democrat colleagues organized the entire event, even escorting people into the Capitol.
That's what I have heard too from people that I haven't talked about this because I really try not to talk about national news, guys. But this is what I've heard directly from people that were actually here. That they were organized to go into the Capitol.
And the decision of D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser to not accept National Guard assets offered by Trump. She also failed to mention that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats also joined the Capitol Police Chief in the conspiracy, allowing the fake paid Trump protesters to create an image of mayhem. Warren also revealed what critics describe as intellectual.
Why is nobody like, if that's the case? And by the way, I've talked to people there, but you may know this, you may not know this, but there are quite a few people that were there from Massachusetts, and quite a few people that have been very public about this. And I've spoken to some of these people at length, and they explained everything to me. And I remember vividly everything that they said. And it seemed like it was I'm not claiming that it was. I wasn't there, okay? But most of the people that I talked to said it was a setup, and they were directed to go into the building.
Inconsistency. She strongly supported sending nearly unlimited U.S. taxpayer funds to Ukraine.
If it was a setup, why is nobody getting arrested?
Yet, despite voicing public support for Israel, she opposed a $14 billion military aid package following major attacks by terrorist groups. Warren voted against funding the border wall in the first Trump administration and then supported defunding police around the nation. She supported both Antifa and BLM and opening the border to millions of criminals regardless of the danger to the country. See our videos on BLM and Antifa. In 2024, Warren joined other Democrats in the Senate who opposed the $118 billion border deal securing the border using DNA to match children with actual parents, not giving the kids to suspected traffickers and deporting illegals. During an online call with Katie Couric, Senator Elizabeth Warren condemned the Trump administration's deportations without granting the deported their due process rights. She failed to mention her party allowed them into the country in violation of federal immigration law. Warren.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the biggest things that irks me about this whole, ICE and illegal immigration thing is like they didn't, like, the Trump administration didn't cause the problem. They're trying to correct a problem that was caused from a previous administration. So, like, there was no uproar. Like, obviously, some people were vocal about this, but we didn't get a idea of the damage that would have been done until years later. And it's just absolute hypocrisy to me, because they're the ones that did it. So now somebody else has to go up and clean up their mess. And You see what I'm trying to say here? You know what this is like? You know what this is like? This reminds me, this is maybe a good analogy. Maybe it's absolutely terrible. But back when I used to be an electrical contractor, okay, sometimes we would have to go into a house and the homeowner hired a previous electrician that looks like they got spaghetti and just threw it at the wall. Okay, they were trying to redo their panel, change the service, and they did more damage than they did more damage than good. You see what I'm trying to say? So then we have to go in there and clean up the mess. And then the homeowner is like, why is this taking so long? Or, you know what I'm saying? This didn't happen all the time, right? But over the course of 10 years, of course, like these things do happen. And we would always tell them the same thing. Like, it's substantially easier to go in and do something and do it the right way one time versus trying to fix somebody else's mess. I mean, and that's effectively what happened here with the immigration. I mean, the Trump administration didn't cause the problem. They're not the ones that let everybody into the country. So everybody is in an uproar. But for 4 frickin' years, nobody said a damn peep about millions upon millions of people invading the country.
Publicly stated
it's absolutely ludicrous to me.
Bring them all back because she wants them to be counted in polls for congressional seat appropriations. She also wants them to vote Democrat, legally or not. When Elizabeth Warren was asked about Molly Tibbetts being for congressional seat appropriations, she also wants them to vote Democrat, legally or not.
That's right.
When Elizabeth Warren was asked about Molly Tibbetts being murdered by an illegal immigrant criminal, her reply was shockingly, I know this is hard for the family, but they have to remember that we need to focus on real problems like illegal immigrants not being able to see their kids. These Democrats put the nation's migration crisis and American security on the back burner, but supported a bill that would provide $95 billion in taxpayer-funded military aid, mostly to Ukraine, and a little going to Israel and Taiwan. Democrats wanted an open border without any effort to protect children and American citizens, and Warren was a ringleader. However, despite her blatant fraud and hypocrisy, Warren has publicly fought for veterans and pushed the Veterans Administration to have greater accountability and provide better care. The only problem is she has never submitted any legislation to expand any real funding of the VA. She never pushed for accountability for VA failures under Obama or Biden, and she opposed Donald Trump's expanded VA care plan, increasing health care access. In essence, Elizabeth Warren is an empty vessel who thrives on public tax dollars and corporate donations and has benefited from a life of fraud, insider trading, lies, and hypocrisy.
Thank you for watching this episode of Forgotten History. If you liked what you saw, please click like.
Give this guy give this guy a like. I gotta subscribe to his channel. Give this guy a like. This is Forgotten History. They said it was okay for me to watch this video with you guys. But yeah, this is, you know what the funny thing is about this video? Want to know what the crazy thing is about this video? This was a 17-minute video. By the time Healy, Ayanna Pressley, Michelle Wu, Liz Miranda, who's some other characters, Ed Markey, Ron Mariano, like there could be a 17 to 20-minute video on all of these people, okay? On all these people. That's the crazy thing. That's the crazy thing. Let's read some of these. I want to read some of the. Pocahontas is still one of my favorite nicknames. Her apology is meaningless. This is a great series. Yeah, this is a really good video. They have a really good channel. How often do they upload? Mitch McConnell. That's probably a good one too. Members only. This one, I mean, they're all corrupt. It's crazy. It's wild. Yeah. Nuts. Nuts. They're all nuts. Yeah, it's a good channel, guys. Definitely give it a like and subscribe. So anyway, I want to talk about one more thing. Let me show you guys something. I wrote this in my... Where is it? This is eventually going to be a contribution that I want to do for the state of Massachusetts. I want to be able to figure out a way. I'm not, I've never done a ballot initiative before. It's something that I have to learn, look into. I don't know all the cycles of trying to do the initiative and passing things. Like I don't know all the little intricacies, right? But what I want to do is figure out a way where some of these towns throughout Massachusetts could get a portion of money back. And I also think that what we should be able to do here is we should be able to be self-sufficient. All of these smaller rural towns, even the town that I live in, not that it's like a rural town, but you know what I'm trying to say. Some of these smaller towns here, they're all behind on budget. And I made that video the other day, and it really is upsetting to me because it's not upsetting that it's happening. It's upsetting to me. What's more upsetting to me is that the trend line is going up. Okay. So like if you start at 22, then you're at 40 something, and now you're at 53. That's a huge percent increase of more towns that are looking for budget overrides. You see what I'm saying? So the trend scares me more than the actual override itself, because it's not going down, it's going up, and it's going up at a great pace. So I would predict that unless somebody comes in to help, somebody comes in to do something, these towns are going to be in trouble, okay? And I could see that only increasing. I mean, hopefully that won't happen, but I want to create a fail-safe just in case this happens again. You see what I'm saying? And I want to be able to allocate, the governor should be able to allocate a certain amount of money and or more money to help these towns when they're in need, whether it be a grant or whatever it is, okay? And I do realize that these towns should be able to be self-sufficient and all this other stuff, right? But the fact of the matter here is that our money is being diverted in all sorts of ways. Look at the size of government since Healy took office. Look at all of these insane programs that she's created since she's been in office, and these advocacy groups and this and this and this and this. Like all this crazy, and the same thing, you could say the same thing for Wu, right? But I think there should be an opportunity there to be able to help these towns that are struggling, okay? Of course, everybody should be responsible for their own budgets and all this other stuff, but the state makes enough money and wastes a whole lot more of it where they should be able to step in and help these smaller municipalities get back on track in some way, manner, or form. And not only should they do it with money, okay, money doesn't solve problems. It puts a Band-Aid on problems. But what I also think should happen is that there should be some sort of like, again, this is just me coming off the top of my head, guys. This idea might suck. It might be absolutely terrible, but I think the intentions are right. It shouldn't just be about money, okay? I think that in order to even apply or get a grant to help your town with an override, I think that there should be some kind of auxiliary audit / somebody that could look at the books, okay, and see what is going on a per town basis from a state level, okay? So if you want to apply for a grant, and again, this is me spitballing here. If you want to apply for a grant, take your town out of debt so you can pay your teachers, you pay your cops, you pay your firemen, you get your roads paved, you get this, you get that, whatever it is. There should be like almost like an investigative research into what is happening with the budget first. See where they could save money in XYZ place, okay? And then that should be a prerequisite for applying to get a grant or getting the grant in general. That's what I think. So, something along those lines. And that's going to be one of my ballot initiatives, by the way. Eventually, down to the future. Maybe I'll have somebody help me with it. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to do with the ballot initiative stuff, guys. I think it's important. And I think that too many towns, like Prop 2.5, I don't know if you saw this. Maybe I didn't put this on here. Prop 2.5, if we didn't have Prop 2.5, everybody's like, we need to abolish or revise or do this with Prop. Let me explain something to you guys, okay? The highest or one of the highest tax states in the country, okay, for real estate taxes is not far from us. It's in New Jersey, all right? If we didn't have Prop 2.5, your typical, let's say 2,000, 2,200 square foot, 3 or 4 bed, 2 bath home, you would be more than likely paying 2 to 3 times more in taxes today if Prop 2.5 never happened. So that $7,000 that you're paying for your home and property taxes would look more like $16,000. Okay, that's what it would look like today. On top of that, if you want another metric, New Jersey is number 1. Our taxes, if Prop 2.5 was never created, our taxes would be 35 to 40% higher than New Jersey's taxes today. So like, we would almost double the number 1 state for the highest real estate taxes in the country. You see what I'm saying? So you guys would be we'd be, I mean, just call it quits, okay? You wouldn't be able to live here. It would be unaffordable. So eliminating Prop 2.5 is not a good idea. However, constantly spending money on overrides and seeing people argue and all this other stuff is absolutely insane. That's why I think we need to create this initiative. That's really what I think. I think that realistically, I just thought about it. Actually, you know what? I'll save that for another day. I'll talk about it though. So there was a lady, a bakery. Do you guys know about this? Hang on. Let me see if I can find this. Hold on 1 second. Massachusetts bakery. Let me see if I can find it real quick. This is infuriating. I'm probably going to do a full video on this, by the way, guys. Wait, maybe, of course, maybe it's not in Boston, but however, maybe it's in, or not Massachusetts, but it's probably in Boston, where people are just a little bit more, if not a lot more, absolutely vile. Hold on, let's see. They probably removed the damn thing. Let's see. This is crazy. The message. What the hell is going on here? Give me a second. I'll give you the premise. I'll preface by saying this is what happened. There was a bakery in Massachusetts that I think for Charlie Kirk's birthday made some kind of like memorable or honorable style of cookies, okay? And what had happened is some absolute goon lunatics on the Massachusetts and or Boston subreddit decided to light this poor woman and her business up to the point where they got absolutely review bombed on Google, okay? To the point where it could be business ruining levels of negative reviews, probably from people that never even had the product itself. And I want to show you this, and I'm probably going to make a full-fledged video on this to call out these people with Reddit brain, okay? Let's see if I can find it. So maybe if you guys live near this bakery, I've never had this bakery. Maybe I'll go there today. Maybe I'll go there today, walk in and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Hang on, let's see if I can find this. Does anybody know what the hell I'm talking about? Hold on. Let me share my screen with you guys so you're not bored. So, this is, guys, this is like the dark fucking web, okay? This is like the absolute, what I'm showing you right now is like the absolute bottom of the barrel, absolute worst people in the entire country and the worst people inside of Boston. This is where they live. This is where they thrive. This is where the rot happens. This is where everything negative in the entire state of Massachusetts gets talked about. It is the absolute worst. But I am going to take one for the team here and show you what the hell is going on, okay? It is the devil's den. Yes, it is the devil's den. They probably removed this damn... Here, let me sort by time, past week. Places, this is it. Is this it? I found it. Okay, here we go. Who lives in Quincy? I'm not going to go. Quincy's too far for me. Ginger Betty's Bakery. This is a great one. Okay, we're gonna finish off with this. Talking about this. Okay, this poor woman, Ginger Betty's Bakery. Places to avoid tomorrow. Now, this is not the first time I've talked about Reddit and the absolute clowns and lunatics that are on here. But guess what? I'm going to talk about them again because they need to be called out. So this is what it says. It says, let me blow this up for you guys. It's not working. So it says, Ginger Betty's Bakery, stop in if you can. Sunday, 10/12 of 25, 1 to 3 p.m. Cookie break for chocolate chip Charlie Courageous Cookie for Charlie Kirk's 32nd birthday. We will celebrate and honor him for the special gift he was to all of us. America's little brother making big brother status to many in America and around the globe. We love you, your message, and your courage to share it with everyone, especially our youth. You've set the table and gave everyone a seat at it. You showed us the way to have conversations, especially with those we disagree with respect, grace, and compassion. May your gentle soul and your spicy spirit rest in sweet peace. That's basically it. And it says, we will be selling cookies to benefit TPUSA. Please wear your red, white, and blue. God bless America. Is there anything, am I missing anything here? Is it, before I get into the comment section, could somebody tell me, is there some underlying message here that I'm missing that she wrote that I'm not seeing? Am I naive? Or is this just in honor of Charlie Kirk? Perhaps benefit TPUSA, maybe a portion of the money from cookie selling is going back and they're donating to TPUSA. Is there anything wrong with this before I go through the comments? Could somebody please tell me? Because I don't think that there is. Now, here we go. Put on your safety belts. Let me make this as large as I can. The worse her politics get, the worse her cookie gets. Seeing her fall into magism hurts my heart as someone who used to frequent her store as a child and especially loved her soft ginger cookies. Another reason to dislike. She's unhinged. Yo, this lady sucks. Once again, her cookies suck. This post should serve as a reminder to all of us to evaluate our own mental health. I'm new to Quincy and this comment section taught me where not to go. Bigot Betty and her kind could crawl back under their rocks. I always avoid this place. Used to like that place. Then I found out who she is. Never ever will I shop there again. Beyond terrible. Okay? This is our oh God, I just, that woman is literally a neo-Nazi. Now, let me take it as, you see what's going on here, guys, okay? This post has, oh, actually, let's do this. I have another idea. Oops. How the hell did I do that? There we go. My bad. This is what happens. I hope I could find it. You see, here's a perfect example. This person says, I'm new to Quincy and this comment section taught me not where to go. Somebody, the moderators on any level of Massachusetts subreddits, somebody must have said something that was like in favor of this place, and this is what happens. The comment was removed by the moderator and they automatically got downvoted. That is what happens. Here you go again. Here's a perfect example. It says, while this lady is absolutely a crazy Trumper, her cookies are in fact delicious. Picked some up from the fruit center a couple of weeks ago for the first time with no context on who she was. Got downvoted 6 times. Got downvoted 6 times because these people they're unhinged. They're absolutely crazy. They're absolutely crazy. But it gets worse. It gets worse. Could you believe that? It gets worse because now, actually, wait a second. Let me go through a little bit further and hold on 1 minute. Let's see. Got it. Here you go. Got it. The reviews are adding up. Let's see if we can find some more. I'd have to expand all these. I'm not going to waste your time doing that. But this is what happened. Let me show you what happened. These are our fellow citizens here, if you even want to call them that, in Massachusetts. Let's see. Ginger Betty's Bakery. Look at this. Okay, let's go to newest. Here you go. Look at this. 1 star a week ago. 3 weeks ago. Wait, there's newer ones. Oh, maybe some of them got removed. There was way more than this before, guys. Hang on. Something's not adding up here. She must have gotten them removed. There was a whole bunch of reviews. She must have reported it to Google. Maybe they did something about it. Let me keep scrolling. Yeah. So the other day when I went here, they must have did something about it. The other day when I went here, there was a massive amount of reviews from Reddit, and they were basically review bombing her business. Absolutely despicable. I've never had their cookies. I can't say one way or another if they're good or not. Okay, I have no idea. I'm just saying that it's despicable to light up a business on Reddit and do what these people do. It's an absolute pit of hatred, is what Reddit is. Especially the Massachusetts subreddit or the Boston subreddit. Actually, you know what? We'll do one more. I have time for one more. Let's do one more. Hang on. Let's go to the real. This place is. Oh wow! They changed the. Oh, my bad. My bad. Am I banned from Boston? Let me see. No. Here we go, baby. This is really getting into the depths. This is really bad. This is the last level of the dungeon, okay? Let's go to... Let's see what's hot. Come clown on the men's march against abortion in Boston. What the hell is this? This November 1st, for the 4th year in a row, the Men's March is going to shut down the Commonwealth Ave for an all-men funeral march mourning the government's unwillingness to take our reproductive rights away. Yeah, this is, here we go. I knew I'd find it. Here we go. Guys... Here it is. No kings. I had to scroll for 5 seconds. Lead with love, not anger. Focus your energy on what you stand for, not what you stand against. Look out for one another. Smile and greet others. Celebrate families and kids. Lift your voice with positivity. Keep it clean and respectful. Make your sign speak peace. Be mindful of words and tone. Model nonviolence in every action. Carry joy beyond the rally. You know what's going to happen at this place? It's going to be a freaking bloodbath. That's what's more than likely going to happen. And Woo will be center stage. That's it. That's what's going to happen. That's what I think. And that's it. You know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, let me catch up on some comments, and I got to get my daughter from school, guys, today. Let's see. They are good if you like a mild gingerbread. We have a not that the ginger, we have a gingerbread bakery. You know that gingerbread? We have one right down the road from us. And we usually get like muffins and stuff from there, and their gingerbread cookies. Yeah, Reddit. I used to love, I mean, I really used to like Reddit back in the day, because if I had like a computer problem, it would be a really good resource to like diagnose it or whatever. And or like I was looking up information on like, you know, building something, or it used to be kind of a good place for stuff like that. And now it's just, I don't know if it's like overrun with bots or just absolute lunatics or a mix of the two. That's what I think. But anyway, guys, thanks for spending Friday with me. Scotty, get some cookies from there, man. Get some cookies from there. And if anybody of you had cookies from there, do yourself a favor and leave them a 5-star review. I don't care if it was a year ago or 5 years ago. So you definitely give them a positive review. I'm based North Andover, MA. It was bringing your hat day for my son, and he brought American flag MAGA hat to school. We'll see if he is included in the weekly photo report. Dude, that's something I would report on. Send me a message. I just listed a house up in North Andover, too. Here, I'll show you. Wait, 103 North Barker. Where are we at here? Here we go. This one. They have probably one of the nicest yards. 3 acres, flat, cleared lot. It's pretty nice. 10 stars. Yes, give them 10 stars. This is right down from like Butcher Boy. It's a pretty good spot. All right, guys. I'm taking off. It was a fun day. Hope you enjoy your weekend. I'll probably be back on Monday and have some more videos for you. I don't know if I'll be hosting the Howie or the Grace Curley show again. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Not used to the setup or anything like that, but it was a good time to meet everybody there and just to network and everything. I really appreciated that opportunity to do that. But who knows? I don't think Grace is coming back to the middle of November, so maybe I'll be on again. So, but that's it, guys. Hope you enjoy your day. Thank you so much, and God bless. Bye-bye.